In the Dressrosa arc, Doflamingo did explain that the devil fruits are much more complex than what we initially thought. A huge role does play how long a person had the power of the devil fruit and what did he do with it. Doflamingo did eat a devil fruit when he was a kid, and now he is 41 years old, so he had a long time to master it. But one thing that is important to note here is that Doflamingo spent almost all of his time in battles and not going on adventures. In Luffy's case, he also did eat a devil fruit when he was a kid, but he did not pay that much attention to it. He is not that smart, but this was done for story purposes. You cannot have a strong main character at the beginning of the story. Otherwise, the One Piece story would be a lot shorter. Has Luffy awakened his devil fruit? Yes, I think he has. But first, let's talk about how the devil fruits are awakened. I don't think the devil fruit can be awakened in an instant, like turning on a switch. And from that moment on, the devil fruit is awakened. I think the awakening is a long process and has multiple phases. Luffy has started the process of awakening his devil fruit a long time ago without him knowing that he has done so. I think Luffy has started the process of awakening his devil fruit in the Enies Lobby arc. Gear 2nd and Gear 3rd is his awakening of the devil fruit in phase 1. The Gomu Gomu no Mi devil fruit gave Luffy the power of rubber, but rubber does not give you speed. When Luffy first ate the devil fruit, you can see the effects on his body immediately, when his legs and arms did stretch and his jaw was on the floor. But it's not like he could move faster now that he has the power of the devil fruit. So the speed of Gear 2nd is not due to the devil fruit. But he did manage to achieve that by manipulating the power of his devil fruit. And this is what the awakening is all about. In Gear 2nd, Luffy speeds up the blood flow in all or selected body parts in order to provide them with more oxygen and nutrition. This makes him faster and more powerful. This is all possible because his body is made of rubber. The speed is not part of the devil fruit but comes from Luffy manipulating his body to function in an unnatural way. And the reason why he is able to do this is due to his rubbery body, and this is what the awakening is. Using the power of the devil fruit to achieve new powers that are different from the power of your devil fruit. One example is Doflamingo. His devil fruit power is strings. In that fight against Law, his inner organs were damaged by Law's attack. And then Doflamingo did operate himself using his devil fruit power. This would be normal for Law's devil fruit, Ope Ope no Mi, but not for Doflamingo's, because his devil fruit power is strings. But like I said earlier, awakening is manipulating the devil fruit power to achieve something that is not the original power of the devil fruit. Doflamingo can operate himself like a doctor even though he is not a doctor and his devil fruit power is strings, but this is possible due to the awakening of his devil fruit. The same thing is with Luffy. He is very fast in Gear 2nd even though his devil fruit power is rubber, and this is his awakening of the devil fruit. Gear 3rd and Gear 4th are also part of phase 1 of the awakening because he is achieving this by blowing air into his body. Gear 4th is more complex than Gear 3rd and has a lot more power, but the concept is the same when it comes to how Luffy is using his devil fruit power. And now the question is, when Luffy will unlock phase 2 of his awakening? I think he already has. And the reason why I think so is due to this new attack that Luffy did use against Cracker called Kong Organ. As I said earlier, that when it comes to his gears, he is manipulating his body. For Gear 2nd, he is speeding up his blood flow to make himself faster, and for Gear 3rd and 4th, he is blowing air into his body to make himself bigger. But for this technique, he is not just manipulating his body, but he is also changing the shape of his body by creating extra arms. Luffy was inspired to come up with this technique by two things. The weapon organ that has multiple cannons, hence why the attack is called Kong Organ, and the power of Nico Robin. She can create extra arms and legs or any part of the body that she wants. Just like Doflamingo that can operate himself using his devil fruit even though he is not a doctor, nor does he has Law's devil fruit Ope Ope no Mi, which the main purpose of the Ope Ope no Mi devil fruit is operation. So far, because of his awakening, Luffy has achieved all these features: speed, size, and extra arms. The awakening of the devil fruit basically allows the user to obtain powers beyond the original power of the devil fruit. And now we have come to phase 3. This phase is when the user can affect everything around them, like we saw with Doflamingo when he turns everything into strings. Has Luffy unlocked phase 3 of his awakening? Yes, I think he has. There are a couple of reasons why I think so. First of all, it is not possible that Rayleigh is not aware that the devil fruit can be awakened. Rayleigh did travel all over the world and did conquer the Grand Line and fought with many opponents. Of course he knows about the awakening and he told Luffy all about it. Rayleigh said that he did teach Luffy only the basic stuff about Haki, so most of the time they spent on fighting. Because it's not like Rayleigh spent also time teaching him other stuff like math or history, etc. But he said to him, "Hey kid, attack me with everything you have," and then during or after the fights he told Luffy what are his weaknesses and what he could do better or more efficiently. We know that Luffy gets better and stronger with every battle that he has fought. He fought Rayleigh for 1.5 years. He is not at his level, but he has to be very strong. Because the whole point of the time skip was for Luffy to be strong enough for the new world, where he has to deal with the admirals and the Yonkos. Rayleigh did convince Luffy to train for 2 years because of what did happen against Kizaru. In Dressrosa, when he saw Fujitora, he did not want to run away like he did with Kizaru, and he said, "Why do I have to run? I swore I would leave that habit behind 2 years ago. Marine admirals, Yonkos, I don't give a damn who. I'm going to blast them all away, because that's what a true pirate king would do." The reason why Luffy did not want to run away this time is due to what did happen during the time skip. Otherwise, this does not make sense. Why would you want to fight an admiral if the end result of this fight will be the same like it was the last time? If Fujitora would have fought Luffy there and beat him, then what was the point of the 2 years training? The upcoming arc is the Wano arc, where is supposed to take place a huge war between the alliance that the Straw Hats have made and Kaido and the Shogun of Wano. I cannot imagine that Luffy will be able to fight Kaido and stand his ground without his awakening, where he can affect everything around him. And now the question is, what if Luffy awakens his devil fruit during the fight with Kaido? I don't think that will happen for 3 reasons. Number 1, like I said before, I don't think you can awaken the devil fruit in an instant like turning on a switch. Number 2, let's just say that Luffy awakens his devil fruit during the battle with Kaido. Even if he would do so, that would not be too much of a use for him because it will take time before he can master it, this huge power. He still is having problems with Gear 4th. So if Luffy still has not mastered Gear 4th completely, then it will take even longer to master his awakening. Number 3, just look what Oda has done so far with the battles that Luffy has fought after the time skip. In how many of them Luffy did come up with a new technique? None of them. Everything that he did use so far is what he did learn during the time skip. And the interesting part is that in the fights against Doflamingo and Cracker, Luffy did not have the upper hand. So if Luffy is having a hard time defeating his opponents like Doflamingo, a Shichibukai, and Cracker, a Yonko commander, with the techniques that he did learn during the time skip, then what do you think will happen when he will have to fight stronger opponents like the admirals or the Yonkos with the techniques that he just came up with? One example that Oda gave us about how strong the admirals are is in what state the island of Punk Hazard is now. The battleground of the fight between Aokijin and Akainu was the whole island. I don't think that someone who has not awakened his devil fruit can survive there. And the Yonkos are stronger than the admirals. That's why Kaido has the title the strongest creature in the world. Anyway, these are all my reasons why I think that Luffy has awakened his devil fruit and is ready to fight the opponents in the new world. And lastly, just in case someone is wondering if Luffy has awakened his devil fruit, then why he has not used it so far? The answer is simple and obvious. For story purposes. Otherwise, the Dressrosa arc would not have been 102 chapters long, but it would be only 1 chapter. And another answer to this question is for the same reasons why Luffy did not use Gear 4th from the beginning of the fight against Doflamingo, but he did use Gear 2nd and 3rd and then Gear 4th. But then, even in Gear 4th mode, he did not use King Kong Gun at the beginning, which so far is his strongest attack. But he did use other attacks that are not as strong as King Kong Gun, because he thought those attacks would be enough to defeat Doflamingo, like Leo Bazooka attack. Luffy even says that this fight ends now, but when he saw that it did not work, then he did use other attacks. When Luffy saw Doflamingo's awakened power, he does not say anything about the awakening like, "Oh, so the devil fruits have another level that is called awakening, that I don't know anything about it." but he only did talk about what Doflamingo can do with his awakened devil fruit power. Which is normal in the manga. The powers of one character are explained by his opponent or by himself to make it easier for the readers to understand what is going on. Thanks for watching, like and share if you like this video, and subscribe for more One Piece videos.